There's two sides of the coin. If we think of love as being saved and saving, then we're setting ourselves up to either play the role of the saved or the savior. And neither of those are conducive to a long-lasting, loving, and intimate partnership. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great week. We are officially in the doldrums of winter. It is past Valentine's Day, and it is that time of the year where all of us are thinking about spring and when the weather will get warmer and we can lay on a beach with a cold drink in our hand and all of that kind of stuff. Well, I know for me, this is the time of year where it's really easy to fall into a very specific temptation and a specific myth when it comes to love. I think one of the most pervasive myths we have about love is that love will save us. We hear this over and over again in songs and in film and in fairy tales and all over the place, that if you just meet that special somebody, then life will be different. Life will be wonderful. That person will make you happy and fulfilled, and that will fulfill all of your dreams. It will, in essence, complete you as a person. Many of you will know that I'm a professor of religion, and I've been studying the history of the soulmate myth for like 10 years now. And one of the things I've discovered is that a lot of our conceptions of love have religious origins, and the ideas we get about what love is supposed to be actually come from religious ideas and texts and other kind of mythologies. Well, one of them is that love is about saving and being saved. In a religious context, this makes a lot of sense. If you think about God as an all-powerful being who created the universe and whose love can save you, well, that seems pretty plausible. If you think of God as an almighty creator, then yes, it would be very sort of conceivable that God's love might make you whole and complete and happy. One of the issues, however, is that we often transpose that idea of God's love onto our understanding of human partnership. So even those of us who might say, well, I'm not sure if I believe in God, and I'm not even a religious person, and I never have been. So how could I be doing this kind of transferring of the idea of God's love as saving me to my partnership or my understanding of romance? Well, my response would be that this idea has been sort of imbued in our culture through movies and romantic comedies and love songs, to the point that it's a very common refrain to think that love is about saving and being saved, that you're entering into a relationship of love and care with another person will sort of solve the issue of who you are. One of the really difficult things about being human is the fact that we all showed up here without a choice. None of us chose to be here. We just sort of emerged into the world and now have to deal with the fact that we are living, breathing beings. And on top of it, we have to deal with the fact that we're mortal and that we will leave this earth someday, whether through old age or other ways. Well, that's a really hard set of circumstances to kind of deal with. I think one of the temptations is to think that if we can just find love, if we can find that one person who is our soulmate, then everything will be fixed. That whole human condition, that whole condition of being human, will somehow be resolved. We think about that idea of love as coming from a kind of religious background. If we think about it as originating in a love for God, then it's really easy to see how it might be unfair and unhealthy to transfer it to our human partnerships. We can't expect our human partner to fulfill all the things that we might think the almighty creator of the universe would do. Cannot be the sort of fulfilling agent that makes your life whole. One person in the world, no matter how wonderful and amazing and talented and caring, cannot make you totally happy. They can't solve all of the vulnerability and uncertainty in your life. Meeting that one person, forming a partnership with someone you love over time, is not a fix. It's not a cure. And we have to stop thinking about it that way if we want to have loving and balanced relationships. One of the reasons that it's unfair is that it places too high of expectations on one person. Having a healthy and balanced life is about having a network of relationships, friendships, people who care about you and whom you care about. To put the expectation of saving your life, fulfilling your life, and making you happy on just one person is not only unfair to that person, but it's an unrealistic expectation on your part. It's going to end in bitterness and disappointment, and it's going to end in wondering why love never seems to deliver on the promise that you think it should. Now, there's a flip side to thinking that love is about saving and being saved. It not only means that you might be tempted to think of your partner as being the person or the thing that can save you, that can make your life whole and complete, but there's a temptation to think that you can be that for someone else, that you can play the role of savior for your partner. Well, that's problematic too. It's problematic because it creates an unrealistic sense of who you are and what you're capable of. It creates an unrealistic sort of dependency on you as the person who can sort of save someone from emotional or sort of social or any other kinds of pain or need or worry. To enter into a partnership thinking that you can be the saving agent is to set yourself up for a very unhealthy and asymmetrical partnership. There's two sides of the coin. If we think of love as being saved and saving, then we're setting ourselves up to either play the role of the saved or the savior. And neither of those are conducive to a long-lasting, loving, and intimate partnership. I think the way to combat this temptation is just to remember one thing, and that is something I tell myself quite often. No place, no thing, and no person will fix me. And that just means that I want to live a life that is emotionally and psychologically balanced. I want to have a life that is filled with partnership and also friendships and family, where I experience intimacy and care and compassion and empathy. And yet I have to remind myself that no one person can provide all of that. That no one person is the almighty creator God who can give me everything I need. That no thing, no place can do that either. That love is not about a magic pill that will make all our problems go away. That it is perhaps the most expansive and wonderful way that we have of experiencing this human condition with another person. But we just have to keep in mind that it's not a cure. It's not about being saved. It's not about fixing ourselves. Even in the depths of winter, when it's tempting to think that if we could just find that one person in life, then all of our cares would go away, that I would be complete and happy and I would live happily ever after. It's a lot harder to admit that living happily ever after means working every day to form relationships built on care and trust and reciprocity. It's also a lot harder work to admit that even when you do meet the right person, or even when you meet a series of the right people, that none of that will cause the uncertainty and vulnerability of the human condition to go away. It's hard to understand that this is a journey and that love is a perpetual journeying together, often in situations where neither of you will know what's next or what's best. That's exactly what makes love so tantalizing, makes it so inspiring. So thanks for being here. I hope as we enter this very difficult time of the year, I know for me, this is just one of those points where I start to really look forward to summertime and to warmer weather. You can see me sitting here by my fireplace today. And so I hope that this video is helpful. I hope you'll continue to support me and the work I'm doing here, and that you will tell others about the Myths of Love YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, and I will catch you soon. Thanks for being here.